Hi, welcome to the Bathtub. When you see this highly well decorated elf hat, which is basically two elf legs sticking out of my head, and you hear this Christmas classic, and we stop it really quick because we've had enough trouble with Handel's lawyers. They're bastards. George Frederick Handel was a great music composer. His lawyers were bastards, and we shouldn't call anyone a bastard at Christmas. That's one thing. I think we all agree on that one. Lucky's here. Hi, my darling. Oh, you want to? You don't. I don't think you want to get up now, but we're here. We're filming a few of these quickly. We have our Pure Spring mineral water. We're kind of babbling a bit in these episodes because we get very excited about the Bathtacular Christmas Classic that we do. We've been doing this for decades, and we mentioned before. We're going to do a few of these very quickly, so excuse us if we repeat ourselves. We brought the Pismo Beach prop department back up to give them a chance to, make good after some of the junk that they used to put up on the whiteboard. I mean, they were just terrible. And we gave them a chance to totally redecorate this room for Christmas, and this is all they came up with. They claim they made it. Okay, I'm pretty sure they bought it at CVS. Probably for like $4. That's all they did. So we sacked them. We sent them back to their mother in Pismo Beach. It means it's Christmas. It also means it's Christmas when we have this Bathtacular T-shirt from the Ferbers International Bathing Alliance. It says something cool on the back. I always forget what it is because I don't look at myself leaving a room. Other people watch me leaving a room, but I don't, so I don't know what's on the back. And we're going to do a new. We decided for Christmas we try to do something different every year, and we pretty much fail. We fail pretty much every year to come up with anything particularly spectacular for Christmas. This time I was thinking that for two new theme shows, one would be good Christmas. Listen to that. Sounds like is that my head rattling? No, it's the stupid elf legs. Instead of, I thought I would come up with a new idea, which is to bring up great gift ideas for Christmas. Isn't that a cool idea? So books I think you could give people for Christmas because you may be dying for something. You don't know what to give to Aunt Ethel or Grandma or the kids. And I've got a bunch of books here that I would probably give to people for Christmas, and I actually did give to some people for Christmas this year or in the past few years. And then the other one I think we're going to do, because everyone else does it, and we might as well do what everybody does, is at the end, in January, we'll do like our favorite 10 books from the year. So not published this year, but we'll do a kind of favorite books I enjoyed reading this year. Okay, so the first part is totally new idea. We don't have any theme music for it except, and we're going to stop that. It's some books. Hopefully there's 10. There may be more that I think I would like to get for Christmas, and I would enjoy giving to people for Christmas. One, I actually gave this to my son for years and years, and I ended up getting him for myself after he lost interest because he grew too old and mature for these, is the Uncle Scrooge comics from Fantagraphics. I've been buying these since they started coming out a dozen years ago. We love the people of Fantagraphics. We've talked about Uncle Scrooge till we're blue in the face. We're back to our normal patchy reddish hue. But before we talked about this till we were blue in the face, and we love the Uncle Scrooge books, wonderfully reproduced by the great people at Fantagraphics. What could we do without those wonderful people who are doing these lovely books? Here's a book I would give somebody for Christmas. I've never read it. I've heard it's really good, but for some reason it's a new book that I want to read. It's called The Bewitched Bourgeois, 50 Stories by Dino Buzzati. And it's got Brian Evanson, our buddy Brian Evanson, has a big quote at the bottom. So there's a cool book you can get somebody who likes to read contemporary literature. It's 50 stories, translated. It's a NYRB Classics original. NYRB or some other good people we like. In fact, while we're at it, because we haven't read it ourselves this year, we're one of the few short story writers we do enjoy keeping up with is good old Brian Evanson, personal friend as well as a good writer. So I have to make sure it's nicely nepotistic. It's not just a recommendation, but I would like to read his new book, Good Night, Sleep Tight, from Coffee House Press, his regular publishers. Okay, what else have we got here? All right, here's another one of the regulars we use. I was going to save this for the new book section, for New Bapalula, but I love what Hippocampus does. We've said this before. They kind of got me into weird fiction. I was not into weird fiction in the 10 years ago. But this is from William Hope Hodgson, a man who wrote two of the weirdest novels I read as a kid. One was called The Nightland, and the other was called The Boats of the Glen Carrig, which are really weird, twisted fantasy horror novels that came out from the Great Ballantine adult fantasy series. Anyway, this is a series that they do. They've done these volumes. This is the best weird stories of William Hope Hodgson, and it's edited by the estimable and almost unavoidable, we can say estimably unavoidable S.T. Joshi, who does all these wonderful books, and it's part of a series where they've done the best weird tales of Théophile Gautier, which is a great book. That's the first one I read of them. The complete weird stories of W.W. Jacobs and Mary E. Wilkins Freeman. I haven't read some of these people. Robert W. Chambers, who's another one I want to get to know. Anyway, these are incredible books. You can buy them off Amazon, but we try not to buy from Amazon. So one of the things we're talking about now is we are really big fans of another place. We've talked about them before. Try not to buy from Amazon. We want to buy all our books from, what are they called? Hold on a sec, excuse me. Spent a lot of time preparing for the show. Better World Books. Just look up betterworldbooks.com. One word, betterworldbooks.com. They're not Amazon. They're not bastards. They're not just people shoving money in their pockets. They're not former Obama advisors shoving money in their pockets like that idiot who runs the place. They're actually trying to sell good books to good people, and they take a lot of the profits and send them to the schools, to local schools, so they can buy books that idiots will try to ban from the library. So if you can get it from them, get it from them. I'm always trying to buy from the publishers. So you could go to Hippocampus. I find it a little strenuous trying to figure out how to buy from them directly, but this is a wonderful little publisher, and we really want to support them. So any way you can help buy some of their wonderful books directly from them, cut out the middleman. Or if you do want a middleman, Better World Books. Here's another one you could probably get from Better World Books. We've talked about it. I would love to have gotten the first of all. This is volume 3, because we're working our way through the complete Arabian Nights. This wonderful edition, which was, I think, Robert Irwin was kind of the guiding force behind it, but then Malcolm C. Lyons and Ursula Lyons. Anyway, we loved the 2.5 volumes we've read. We're going to finish that this year, maybe over Christmas. The wonderful Penguin editions. You can get these on Kindle. Don't do it. You can buy ebooks from somebody besides Amazon if possible. If desperate, you have to buy from Amazon. We always forgive you. That's all. We understand why that happens. But Better World Books should be able to get you this. Okay? I'm giving actually gift certificates to Better World Books this year. We talked about this in another episode. We're big fans of Henry Fielding. Tom Jones, this is not the copy to get them. Penguin has a really nice copy of Tom Jones. It's one of the great literary novels, which you can't put down, which is laughable. It's just you laugh all the way through it. It's hilarious. He has this wonderfully comic vision of human life and forgiving. He's comic, he's forgiving, and he understands human behavior in ways that are pretty consistent. Tom Jones is by Henry Fielding. It's a classic. There's three classics I like to give people for Christmas, especially young people. Tom Jones, Anna Karenina, or War and Peace by Tolstoy, which most people will read, and then The Grapes of Wrath. The Grapes of Wrath. We also have, we should probably here's another idea. This is lots of ideas. Subscriptions. Okay, this is nice and nepotistic again, but these are publishers we really, really like. One is the great people at Centaur Press. And you have to go to their website, and they do mainly kind of beautiful reprints of classic horror novels. And they're a little more on the arty side of the actual and design side from Hippocampus. And they publish some similar things, but they do this wonderful book called Weird Fiction Review. I'm really proud to be in this magazine a couple of times. And they have a new issue coming out soon of Weird Fiction Review. It comes out every year or two. It's a beautiful book for people who like either fantastic literature or the history of fantastic literature. It covers lots of movies and cultural stuff, and it's a wonderful series. So you could buy something like this for them, or buy a subscription, or buy books directly from Centaur Press for your friends who like fantastic or horror fiction. And the other similar from Phantasmagoria. Again, it's nicely nepotistic. We like being in this magazine. St. Joshi, Tonya, he's unavoidably estimable, and he's in here as well. I've got a story in here. It's kind of they're keeping a secret, but it's still Phantasmagoria is published out of Northern Ireland by a guy who's doing just kind of cool work. It's just kind of a beautiful, original. He spends a lot of time thinking about it and putting out something lovely. And this incredible cover from Hannes Bach, the magazine Fantasy and Science Fiction cover for the great Rose for Ecclesiastes by Roger Zelazny. Anyway, you can get people a subscription to that and help them out. Here's one of my favorite literary biographies. I still give it to people whenever I can. My favorite writer, American writer, Richard Yates. Any books by Richard Yates are good for Christmas and birthdays. Everyone likes Richard Yates once they start reading him. And this is one of my favorite literary biographies, The Life and Work of Richard Yates, A Tragic Honesty by Blake Bailey. That's in print and paperback. You should get that. I always like giving the Library of America books to people. I have mixed feelings about the Library of America because they're beautifully put together books. They're kind of easy to hold. The paper is so thin. It's almost like it's like skinning a newt or something. It's hard to get the page turned sometimes. But here's a few that I think are kind of cool to have. Sometimes they're almost too much stuff in them. But these are one volume Library of Americas that are really worth having for anybody, and anyone who loves good fiction, particularly John Cheever's collected stories and other writings. We're going to talk about Cheever probably shortly in Short Story Roundabout. And this is a wonderful volume of it. They also have his novels, which aren't quite as good, but they're still worth reading, his novels. Here's two more I think would really make great gifts. The Collected Portus. Now this is perfect. It's all his novels and some stories, essays, and some shorter pieces in a play. All of his funny books. It's got to be more laughs in one between two covers than you can possibly buy in any other. He was a wonderful short story, wonderful novelist, very funny comic novelist, and he'll make you laugh out loud again and again. I love this volume. This is one of the few LOAs I will always keep. And I like giving poetry too. I like these. Sometimes it's just the one volume is really nice to have all of someone's work in it. And Elizabeth Bishop is one of my favorite poets of the past 100 years. And this is poems, prose, and letters. And it sort of covers you. It pretty much fills up you got all your Bishop in one volume. Anyone who loves poetry, any young people in your family who love poetry, I often give this book out, and they never send it back. I don't know if they read the books, but they never send it back. 2 or 3 more quick ideas. One, I said this to my brother because I did a piece about Mad Magazine. I don't know if you can buy these new. You may be able to buy them new from one of these websites. Better World Books does secondhand books. But these are the Mad About the 70s, Mad About the 60s, and Mad About TV. I tell you, at Christmas, you can't help. This is all their takeoffs on the movies. There's The Godfather. Oh, God, it's a funny book. You can't not laugh your head off about this. For those of them who like kind of weird, kind of brilliant science fiction, this is a new series from MIT Press. It's not that new, but it's been out for a few years. They've been doing all the Stanislaw Lem's books with these kind of cool covers. The Invincible is a really extremely interesting novel. It's pretty absorbing. Memoirs of a Space Traveler is a sequel to the Ion T. It's a series of kind of episodic stories about traveling around the universe and having weird adventures. We're big fans of Stanislaw Lem. And if you like somebody who likes kind of philosophical, twisted, and very specifically weird books, they're very specific in their attentions they put on the universe. I would really strongly recommend getting a couple of these beautiful copies. Almost anything from them, any of their volumes would be worth reading. And you can get them. You can get them for yourself. Let's say someone gives you a book card for Better World Books. You can order these from them. Finally, I just off the top of my head, I was looking at books that I've really enjoyed the most reading in the past 10 years. And I've really enjoyed the Emile Zola, the we can't say this properly, Ruquan Marquardt series. Anyway, it's still the old masturbator and his pronunciation problems. The Fortune of the Rugons, I believe, is their first one. It's the first one of the series. We've worked our way up through about 5-6 volumes of this wonderful, incredibly brilliant, absorbing series of books. And the novels are brilliant. Most of them are translated by Brian Nelson. They're all available in Oxford World Classics. They're available new. You can pretty much buy all of these from Better World Books or order them through your local bookstore. Again, there we go. There's a lot of different ideas for your Christmas shenanigans when you send out Christmas presents. And, I can't imagine anyone not being happy to get a book for Christmas. That's me. Okay? There's some ideas. Stay safe. Stay hydrated at Christmas. Don't ruin the wood of your desk, but still stay hydrated. Happy Christmas. We'll be back soon.